I want to know if you have BPD and you also experience maladaptive daydreaming. Because I think, just like how some people with BPD,
Everything she described I thought was normal. I have been diagnosed with BPD or whatever. But here, I don't know, I have a weird take on it. So I feel like, and this could just be me being insane or narcissistic or something, or like ignoring whatever, denial, whatever, right? But I feel like every single person, like our brains are, semi similar, but like vastly different. But I feel like, because I've been diagnosed with like bipolar, ADHD, OCD, regular ADD, SAD, severe anxiety, which I do have because I physically get panic attacks or whatever. And then I've also been told that I have none of those things. And then I've been told I have BPD. Um, I've been on a bunch of medicines, like on and off my whole life. Tried antidepressants, they don't work. I tried like Concerta for ADHD, doesn't work. I've tried so many things, non-prescription and whatever. My point is I feel like yes, there are like say like supposedly I'm autistic. Like there is severely autistic people, there is like severely schizophrenic people, there is definitely people that like go up and down moods, but I feel like as people, we all kind of have a little bit of everything, and I feel like some people play into it more, some people are in denial more, some people work through it better. Like I feel like to a degree, like every single person, like there's no standard like normal. Like I feel like we all have a little bit of everything. But what I was thinking when I first saw this video is like what if like hypothetically like doctors, psychiatrists, or just like in general, but this sounds like a paranoid delusion, right? But like try to be self aware here. What if like these things don't exist and they just give us more medicine or tell us this and that and just basically say we're crazy because they want to say that, or they just got lazy because they want to say BPD can cause like hallucinations, like full on hallucinations. Like I understand daydreaming and other stuff is a little bit different or like imagining stuff, but like that sounds like schizophrenia to me. But then again, I don't really super know the details of everything, but it just feels made up or like a lazy excuse like, oh yeah, you have BPD and it's so serious, but also there's no treatment, just go talk about it. What if, like, hypothetically, they're telling that to people that are schizophrenic or what they used to diagnose as bipolar? Because every fucking person was bipolar when I was younger. Like, I'm about to be 30, so say like 15 ish years ago, maybe a little bit less, 15, 10 years ago. Like, everyone was bipolar. Everyone's on antidepressants, especially now. Like, that's more. Like, I'm really big into conspiracy theories, and maybe this is my BPD talking, and maybe I'm just insane. But I feel like everyone has some sort of like a little bit of every mental disorder, and like our personalities and our choices kind of dictate that, if that makes sense, or just how our brains wired. Which I may not be making sense, or it makes sense and I'm insane. I don't know. But I do feel like doctors in general are lazy and they don't actually care, if that makes sense. And I feel like the same with psychiatrists. Like, yeah, there's good ones, of course, but I don't know. I just feel like it's like, oh yeah, you have this. There's no cure. Go away. You know what I mean? Like it just seems a little weird because, like back in the day, they used to heavily prescribe everything. Like at one point, I was on Concerta. Is it Buspar? It was like a no, it was a Abilify. Um, Something that begins with an O, that's an antidepressant, and Xanax, and I had Ativan, all at the same time by the same psychiatrist. And now they don't even want to give you a damn prescription for like Motrin. Anyways, I'm just saying, I feel like everyone is like a little bit crazy and a little bit sane. I feel like our choices, like how bad it is, affects it. But you know what I mean? Like, there's no one person that's like totally fucking sane and totally okay. And if they are, they're a fucking liar or like a narcissist. Which I also feel is like people overuse those terms. I feel like people overuse and overmedicate everything, over dramatize, etc. Maybe that's what I'm doing in this situation, And like, I have another opinion on fibromyalgia. So, my grandma, like before she passed away, obviously, was like heavily addicted to pills. She had carpal tunnel. She had a heart problem. She had Parkinson's. She had fucking Lyme disease. All these things that were easily provable, but she ignored all of them and just said she had fibromyalgia. This might not make sense, but it makes sense in my head. But like the one thing you cannot prove or like see or whatever, she was super convinced she had this super rare thing and this was back in the day, and now everyone has it. Like I understand having chronic pain, but like every person I've met, and I'm not saying every single person, but every person I've met that's had fibromyalgia is overweight, doesn't eat well, doesn't move, like doesn't exercise, whatever. Like I have like severe nerve damage from being an iron worker. Like I have carpal tunnel, I was supposed to get surgery in my left arm, major sciatica, like vertigo, possibly Meniere's, I'm losing my hearing in my left ear. Like there's a lot of stuff I could complain about and use as an excuse, and I really try not to unless I'm like dizzy and can't fucking stand up. But what I'm saying is like the BPD thing reminds me of the fibromyalgia because it's not just like, it's not like your pain is from nerves or muscles or say like got costochondritis or swollenness or whatever the fuck. Like no, it's now this magical other thing that we can't prove. There's no treatment and you just have to deal with. So in my opinion, BPD is like the new version of fibromyalgia for people that are unhappy. Like there's people that are like, the types of people that are like, they come on here, they're like, yeah, like my music scares people, or people don't understand, I need to listen to my screaming scream. Like that shit's fucking cringe. Or you're like over the age of 16 and you're saying you're like a metalhead, and you're like, you know what I mean? Like it's fucking cringe. Point is, I fucking hate labels and I hate people that are like that. And like most of the people in general, seemingly, or the ones at least that I see on here, or that are interested in similar things to me, act like that. And it annoys me. And I just, in my head, I file it away as like, oh, it's like the new whatever. You know what I mean? It's like a trend. I'm not saying people that have BPD or all people that have mental disorders are faking, and like definitely not saying that in any way. I'm just saying I feel like the BPD is like the new freaking fibromyalgia and is just like, it's a trend. Like it doesn't feel like a real thing. Borderline personality disorder, like you realize it is okay to be like, I saw this on like a, is it Whitney Cummings? How she was talking about it with like Brooke Schofield or whatever. Like, like when you get broken up with, or there's a death, or like something major happens in your life, you get fired, an animal passes away, like something happens, it's normal to feel feelings. And it's normal to overreact and be abnormal. You know what I mean? Like there's a big difference between like scream crying or like destroying an entire thing. But I mean everyone expresses things differently. As long as you're not being violent to a person, then it is what it is. But I hope I'm making sense. It's just like, it's okay to be depressed sometimes without being like, I have major depression, bipolar 1, 2, 7, 8, 5, 6 pound, and take like, here's my 35 medications, and nothing's curable, and I'm just this and that. Like, you get what I mean? There's just so many fucking people nowadays that like, it's like the sound where it's like the pronoun, like, I'm a non-binary, femme, trans, masculine, white, cis, that, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I don't understand why people need to put themselves in so many little boxes to feel important, like, or special. No one's special, no one's important. Like, live your life. You should be able to, like, you shouldn't need outside validation to validate your existence, if that makes sense. Like, I like looking a certain way, I like doing certain things and whatever, but like I don't do it for anyone else to look at me or my life or my stuff and be like, oh my god, look at that person, or like so special, so unique. Like I feel like that's kind of a misconception when people are like, oh, you get tattoos, like you want to be looked at. Like no, not really. Like I understand by getting fucking tattoos and looking like this and having shit that looks like this, like I understand I'll be looked at a certain way, but it's not my goal, Lucy, or aspiration to be like, look at me guys, like I'm so different and special, and here's my 87 boxes and all these like special things that I have that you don't, because there's an overabundance of people being like, I need to be special. Bitch, none of us are special. We are like, it's over, whatever, but we are literally little fucking beings on a rock in space. It's not that deep, live your life as best as you can. Try to be as happy as possible, as long as you're not hurting any other person or infringing on anyone else's shit. Like, do your shit. Like, it's okay to be like other people, or you know what I mean? It's okay to be normal. It's okay to want the white picket fence. It's okay to not. It's fucking okay. Like, I don't understand. You know what I mean? Probably not, but I hope so.